Okay, Mario once again with MI Microflight, another day. And right now, what I'm doing is I'm working on this. Actually, this is what I want to talk about. I'm working on the drive system for this go kart that I've been working on lately. This go kart made with this 1.5 inch square steel tubing. This is fence post material that you can buy at Home Depot. And so you can watch my other videos. This is going to be part, yeah, I think it's going to be part 8. Yes, part 8 of this series here. Wow, I'm almost losing track of my videos here. But anyway, I mounted the controllers. You know, these are brushless motor controllers. The same ones I had on the original go-kart that I made with the perforated telescopic steel tubing in the smaller version, kind of similar to this one here, but smaller. That was I did that, I don't know, 5 years ago maybe. Go look at those videos if you're interested in seeing what that looks like. They're all on my YouTube channel. But I basically took the motors. They were joined together, very similar to that other one that's right there. That's another one that I do these things for fun, and so I buy these things inexpensively. When I come across them, just to have them, so that when the creative juices kick in, I can build things like that. And here's another scooter right there. And these are all things that I don't buy these things. I don't pay full price for them, so that's why I have so many of these things, because there's so many people that get rid of these just because they can't charge the batteries, or they can't replace the batteries. It's more trouble to replace the batteries there. You got to have the tools, and many people just don't care for that, and so they get rid of these things. It's a shame, that and sometimes all it needs is just batteries, and especially with these guys here. These are a little more difficult because you got to get in the hoverboard, you got to take it apart, and you got to remove the batteries, and when those battery controllers go bad, you can still revive those batteries by charging them using a charger such as this one here. And I love this charger, by the way. And so I'm charging those batteries. That's exactly what I'm talking about. These are batteries that came off these guys here, the hoverboards that I bought fairly inexpensive. I think I paid $10 for one, the cheapest one, $10. And then when I brought it home, all I needed was to dismantle the battery pack, make my own battery pack, and charge them with a balancing connector, so that each cell gets charged individually. I don't like the chargers that come with these packs right here. They give you the whole pack, and then they have one charger that an electronic circuit that fits on top. When those go bad, forget it. You're not going to be able to do any. This is much better here, having a balancing lead or connector, so that each cell is charged independently. And this is where this comes in. The charger like this is excellent for doing this. This is basically just 4 chargers in one unit here, and it's all driven by AC current, which is really nice. Or you can use DC current if you use it at the field. It's unfortunately I was trying to buy another one, but I did not find any one of these for sale recently. Maybe I haven't looked hard enough, because people who buy these things, they tend to keep them, just like I did. This one went bad on me twice, because I did something stupid while I was charging one battery, a different type of battery, and I was kind of trying to get it started. And when you do that, there's a surge of current that happens when you're trying to revive. I think I was trying to revive a nickel NiCad, or nickel metal hydride, and when I was doing that using this channel right here, I blew the MOSFETs. But I went in there and I replaced the MOSFETs. It's not a big deal for me. I did reach out to the company. They wanted to charge me almost as much, for a new charger. It's typically is the case, when you try to fix, when you try to send things to get it fixed. And that's why people throw away things, and then they buy new ones. It's a shame that we have that system. To this day, there's a lot of waste. And I you know, I dislike wasting things. That's the reason why I also buy these things. You know, to make projects like this is because I like to repurpose things. I like to recycle things, and I don't know. It just bothers me when I see so many things that could be reused. You know, with a little knowledge and skill. Fortunately, I you know, I'm one of those people that that can do a lot of these things, you know, by myself, you know, you know, with a little knowledge and skills, like I said. There are other people out there, and you know, kudos if you're one of those people that likes to tinker and take things apart and you know, repurpose things. I'm for you. I'm rooting for you. You know, if you're one of those people, because I'm one of those. Anyway, so this is the assembly. Like I said, I took apart my original go-kart with the telescopic tubing. I separated this. Actually, I cut this, you know, on my bandsaw, and I separated these so that it retains just the mounting point here. Now I could have gone with cuts like this and like this just to remove this extra material here, but I didn't want to do that. I'm gonna have to think about that and see if I can still get away with that, because you know, these things are bothering me. The fact that they stick out and they take away from the aesthetics of the whole cart. I'm trying to keep it everything clean and you know, clean and nice and aesthetically pleasing. So the reason I kept this place like that, I was saying, is because I wanted to maintain the rigidity that this whole section provides here, because of these because of these extra walls here that it has. You know, it's kind of like a framework to the support of this block right here. If I were to remove this right here, I think I may, let's see. Where's this actually? The pressure point is right here. So this is mainly the pressure points are right there, and at the bolts right here. So I may not need this. I may be able to just cut this off and just keep it clean. You know, the other reason I retained this is because this has these mounting posts here for the covers. And yeah, I'm probably going to have to retain that, or maybe just cut around here and just maintain that section here for the mounting for the covers here. So I also cleaned up the covers. I removed all the plastic except just a cover for the wheel, just as a safety measure to prevent anybody from sticking their fingers in there, because that happened to me. You know, on my first go-kart, it wasn't on, but I accidentally, you know, spun the wheel, and I caught my finger then, and it hurt, and it can, you know, you can get seriously hurt if this is fully running. So that's the purpose of those covers there. So that's why I kept this like this. But I may come back and rethink this and maybe just cut away this extra section, because I'm not using this, and it's kind of ugly that these things are sticking out. Most of the supports here, I may reinforce this a little further with washers, some wider washers. I think I'm going to do that just to provide additional support here, because when this is when the weight of the person is here, you know, most of the stress is going to be taken up by these two bolts right here in this plate here. Not so much right here, but it's where this is mounting to. So unfortunately, I couldn't mount like four screws here, because this tubing is only 1.5 inches wide. I guess I could have done it with smaller bolts, but you know, smaller bolts are really not going to buy one any more than what these two. These are 5/16 bolts are doing here. So I'm just going to spread the load with washers, and I think that should allow me to do this. Cut this section right here and just keep it nice and clean. Okay, so that's mechanical stuff, aesthetical stuff. Electronics controllers, they're still working just fine. There's so much wires here, and I'm glad that this in a way, you know, when I first got these controllers, it was like oh my god, this is like alien stuff, because there were no instructions like, well, where do I go here, aside from the obvious, which are the motors, you know, 3 leads here, and the sensor connectors, pretty much, you know, obvious, and the power, because the thicker wires and the key, you know, the starter. But all these other connections, like, well, what is what here? So I did a drawing and I traced it, and that's why I have these tags here, which I'm going to take out once I get my schematic cleaned up a little bit here. I may even put a schematic right here just so I can have the schematic on the unit itself. I want to do that from the point of view that my dad used to work on electronic. When I was growing up, and one of the reasons I went to school to learn electronics is because of my dad. I think subconsciously that was in my mind, and because my dad was always working on repairing electronic stuff. Back in those days, they use tubes, the vacuum tubes, and I remember my dad used to go buy parts from Radio Shack, back in the day, and I think it was Radio Shack. They used to have a tester where you can go and these boxy looking machines or stands where you could go and test all these tubes there, and that's how you test your tubes, and that's how you bought tubes. So it's an interesting time to be around. And I grew up looking at my dad do all that type of work, repairing things, and so. A good portion of the equipment that my dad worked on, mostly radios and washing machines, stuff like that, had the schematic pasted on the inside of the device itself, and so it was great because you could you have the schematic, you have you have the map there, which is the way these things should be. These controllers should have a map. If I was manufacturing these controllers, I would put a map here, with the schematic of the controller, what each one of these leads does in clear English, because a lot of these things are sold not just in China but in English. So, but these things, they come with Chinese markings, and so it was a little hard, to like this one right here. It's kind of faded, but it's in Chinese. In Chinese is very hard to to try to make some sense out of it, because it doesn't use regular letters. It's more symbology. With the way the Chinese is written. So what I'm trying to say is, if it was in French or Italian or even German, you could still make some of the words, because they're all derived from Latin. But Chinese is a different world. But I managed to decipher all the stuff, and I have markings right here. Like I said, all the markings are there, but I also did it on this one over here. So, so that's one of the things I am going to do. The schematic, I'm going to put it right here, so I have that. And so it'll probably laminate it so it doesn't get ruined, with water, or not so much water, because I don't run these things in the when it's raining, or I don't leave this outside when it's wet, just to protect the project, the go-kart. So that's one of the things I'm going to do. What I'm doing this time is I'm making all this. When I did my first go-kart, I was more concerned with getting it running more than tidying it up and making it really clean. And so some of these connectors, the way I did it, for example, where's that connector? For example, my throttle control and key, which is the on-off switch. I did it like this. With this one is the key, and this one is the throttle control. So I did two of these that are attached to kind of in a Y setup right here. What I should have done here is just have one of these here, one for the key, and one for the throttle, right? And then the throttle from both of these should be parallel together, so that I can feed the signals to both of them at the same time. I do have the same setup here, but I put the Y right here, and so this I'm going to clean up. I'm going to just have one here and do that Y on this one right here, so both are parallel, and then they have one connector that matches with this one here. So that's what I'm doing with not just the throttle. Excuse me. But I'm going to do with the power. This power cable here it's really thick, and I think this is all the wire that I had. This is really stiff wire. I do have some silicone sheeted multi-strand wire, which is a lot easier to work with. So I'm going to redo this wire, put all the voltages in parallel here, so that everything feeds to both of the controllers equally, with a Y connector that has only one lead to the to the controller, to the main switch. The other thing this doesn't have is fusing. So I'm going to introduce fusing, and I'm going to just clean up, like I was saying, some of these. I'm going to make a harness, for all these things with. There's so many different connectors here. These should all be, similar connectors, like these connectors that I use. That's the reason why I was using these as well. These three-prong connectors, just to keep everything, kind of matching, similar to this. There's no reason to go with all these. I mean, they could have done it with all these connectors like that. Pretty much everything. I guess it's done that way, but they're different colors, I guess. With schematic, you don't need colors. You just need just a connector in plain nylon white. That would have been a lot cleaner. Okay, so this video is about this, and talk a little bit about the batteries that I'm using right here. These are the original batteries that I use on my original go-kart, the one that I did with the telescopic perforated tubing, and I'm recharging these. I have 3 of these. One of these went bad. One of the cells went bad, so I have to take it apart and redo these things. But I do have some other packs in the works and in assembly, so that and these come from these guys right here. They're just pulled out, ripped apart, and individually reassemble as 5S packs, which make up a total of 21 volts. I could go to 6 packs here. This charger will do six cells. See, this is doing 5, but it has up to 6 cells, and I can increase the voltage here, but that's going to increase the voltage to 24. That probably right now I'm running this at fully charged is about 40. Let me see, what's my voltage here? I wrote it down here. 21 volts total. Okay, so the nominal voltage is 3.7, of course, because these are lithium ions. Cell max is 4.2 volts. So at 4.2 volts times 5, that's 20. Yeah, I'm running at about 40 volts in series, because I use these in series. And the reason I made 4 is that I was going to use 2 in series and 2 in parallel. Just to double up on the current rating, which is right now the current is 2200 milliamps, which is 2.2 amps, is what these provide. With 2 of them in parallel, that gives me 4.4 amps, which 4.4 amps at the original go-kart. It was going to give me about a good 20, maybe 30-minute runtime. With 2 of these, just gives me about 15-minute runtime, and that's at the 2.2 amp capacity. At twice that much, it doubles that the running time. So that's the way I did this. I also have these Ryobis that you see here that I've been charging, that I use on those. I don't have that scooter with me, but I do have one that's adapted with the sockets, to use these batteries. My racing go-kart that I did with the EMT tubing and maker pipe connectors, that one has those batteries that I run. 2 of those 18 volt Ryobis, 36 volts. This runs a little more power at 42 volts, in series, delivering to each one of these controllers. I think these are rated at 36. Let me see. They do have markings here on these controllers, which I really like the way they laser cut the markings there. This has 36 to 48 volts, so yeah, it is able to handle 48 volts maximum. 18 plus minus 1 amp, 350 watts. So 350 watts per channel, or per motor. That's 350 watts times 2. That's 700, and it's 700 watts, which is plenty to push I'm about 180 pounds, so it pushes my weight. And I've had people that are heavier than me, sit on the original go-kart that I did with these scooter wheels, or hoverboard motors. and it pushes that weight just fine. 700 watts. 1,000 watts would be better for my electric go-kart, the racing one. That one is uses the same motors again, because I use the same ones. That one could use 2,000 watts because it's just a heavier frame, and so it's moving more, not just the pilot weight, but the mass of the structure, the go kart. So on that one, I'm a little bit underpowered. I noticed, but it moves you around. If you're on flat terrain, you have no problem. It's just going up a little hill. It has a little hard time. This one doesn't have so much of a hard time moving up hill at a lighter with a lighter airframe. But it's 700 watts. It's what I'm delivering here. What I'm using with these motors. I could gear this, but that introduces more mechanical complexity, and so I don't want to do that. I just want to keep it direct drive. And these things did not cost me more than like I said, I think I paid for this particular one, the hoverboard. I paid $10. And all I had to do is just got out all the electronics, the original electronics. I could have used those, but it's a lot easier to buy these controllers. These are like $25-$30. Buy two of these controllers and just reconnect everything the way you see it, and it looks clean. And if one of these go bad, you just pull that out, put a new one there, you're done. You don't have to mess with with the electronics that are kind of on that one. I don't, the I don't, I'm not high enough with my camera because I'm charging it as I'm filming. But so that's what I'm working on. Okay, so getting back to this is what I was trying to get at. Where's my pen? So where is my pen? Where's my pen? What happened to my pen? Okay. So here's my go-kart, this one right here, the one with a 1.5 inch steel square tubing. And I was going to do just a regular kind of with a round steering wheel, but I decided just to keep it the same as I did with my perforated go-kart, perforated steel frame, and just so that it allows me to put the throttle right there. That throttle that's right there, directly on the handlebar, and so you can just your hands is fixed there, the way that your hands should be, kind of nice and straight and level. And you have the throttle right there, like scooters are done. And so I'm going to keep that as simple as that. So that throttle will be on this side right here. It'll go through the harness to the back. There are the controllers right there. The batteries will probably sit right here in the back, or I may bring the batteries to the front here, depending where my CG is going to be going to be located at. So I have to figure out with my weight here, and this seat is relocatable, meaning it's adjustable in distance from here to the feet. So that my feet are going to have these also out of this tubing here. I already did that yesterday. I created these parts right here. I just need to find a way to attach them so that my feet can rest here. That's my foot right there. So my feet can rest here, and that way it's not in line with my steering, rods here. So that'll be attached there, and so depending where the CG is, center of gravity, what they call center of gravity, I like to call it center of mass. And that's another topic for another day. I'm not going to get into too much of that. I'm just using CG because everybody's familiar with that. Depending where that is, where that comes out, I have to find out. I have to put this on the scale and put my weight there and figure out where the center is, center of mass. And depending where that is located, I will put my batteries. Those batteries, which are, these batteries are about, I think maybe 5 pounds, for all four of them. So they'll probably go. If I can get away with putting them here, as I used to have it on my original go-kart, the one with the perforated structure. I used to have everything in the back. That should work just fine. But this one, because it's got a little more mass than that one at the front, I think I may be able to get away with the batteries in the back. But if not, I'll bring them to the front right here. Just make some kind of a plate. Okay, so what I need here at the front is I already have the key, the on-off switch. So that's there already. The throttle's there already. Okay, so what else do I need here? I'm gonna write down the things that I need here. I need on and off, okay, which I already said that I already have that on the throttle control. On off, and then I have throttle. And then I also need brakes, which is very important here. Brakes. And I need reverse. All those things are feasible, are available through these connectors here. This right here is the reverse line. When you touch these two wires, and all you need is just a switch, for forward and reverse or neutral. When you touch these wires, they rotate the motors the opposite way. So that's reverse right there. This right here is this is a speed control. This is for just regular high and low. There's not very much change that happens with the high and low. I have to test this and see if there's any torque issue or torque advantage, I should say, or disadvantage when I go to low and high throttle here. I did notice that the motors do spin a little bit higher when I connect it to the high section here, and all you're doing is just grounding one of those leads, the high or low, to ground, and that establishes your speed control, from high to low. So that's speed control. And then there is the, of course, that's the key. That's the motor, battery. These are power leads right here, 48 volts. For if you want to do power leads or supply power to lights or horns or whatever. So it's nice to have additional power. I don't know what this green one is for. I have not figured that out. It's not important at this point. This one is also another power lead. This one right here is a this one says system ground on this one, but on this one, which is the same wire, says brake high. So you'll see that I have that same yellow wire right there. It's just with this connector here. This one is supposed to be right there as well. Just the matching to that. Okay, so the yellow is the same as this one, but on this one it said brake yellow is for high, brake high, and this one's low. I already tested this. This is like a low braking, electronic braking that happens when you engage this, when you ground this white wire. You're just making a connection here, a short between those two leads. Just another switch. When you turn that on, it slows down the wheels. I think this basically just cuts the power. I don't know how this works. The yellow one, I tried grounding this, and it didn't do much. So I don't know how they are supposed to engage this. So for the high braking and what that means. Is it going to stop? Does it put a lock completely here, or does it slow down with a much faster rate than the low brake? So I have to figure that out. All these other wires. What is this green one here? This green one does not have any markings. That's what I was saying on this other one as well. That I don't know what that green one is. These are this right here is my cruise control. When this is engaged, and I have this one on here because I was playing with this last night. When this is engaged, it's a cruise control. Basically, just like on a regular car, you have that switch, cruise control, and then you don't have to do the throttle. So that could be another switch. And by the way, all this stuff was done for my. All this stuff was done for my. For this panel right here, you know, with all these things in mind that I'm talking about, that's how I did this panel. You know, it's got reverse, medium, high, low speed, low brake, high brake, left brake, right signals, lights, flashers, cruise control, reverse. So all that's done in this panel right here, and this is what I'm trying to do with this one here as well. But I don't want to make a panel like this. This is for my racing go-kart. You know, the on-off switch, you know, so it doesn't use the throttle. You know, it uses a regular switch, and then the throttle was going to be my pedal. My brake was going to be another pedal connected to also in parallel with this one of these switches here, the brake high and low, so that I can either brake it, you know, with my foot, or, you know, just activate it with switch and the front panel. This is for my racing go-kart, done with the EMT tubing and maker pipe connectors. But on this one here, I just want to keep it a nice little panel, kind of short, you know, kind of very compact, with the necessary stuff. So on off. Okay, so that's on my throttle, like I was saying. So that one's there. That one's there. I need brakes, so I need that's going to be a switch for brakes. So switch 1. Reverse is going to be another switch. So switch 2. Cruise control, I'm not gonna bother with cruise control, because you want the throttle all the time there. I want to be able to control that, not just for me but for other people. Cruise control can get you in trouble if you're, you know, if that just engages and does not want to release. Brakes, switch 1. So yeah, brakes, switch reverse. Okay, and lights. I want to have some lights here, you know, for night riding. So the lights are going to be another switch here, switch 3. Real simple. These lights for night driving will be front lights. This will have some front LEDs here. I'm just going to draw some circles here. So front lights, and then rear lights here. So some rear lights. So this is real lights and front lights. Now I can get really elaborate here and tie these lights to the brake. So and also have brake lights here. So right lights and maybe brake lights. That'll look cool. So this is 2 things right here, and this is just a set of just high intensity lights, you know, for looking where you're driving through. These brake lights can be tied, you know, with a switch here. So when you brake, you know, every time you activate the switch, the lights go on. Real simple, easy stuff. So that will probably have to be on some kind of a panel here, you know, just an angle panel. I think I'm going to do like a little angle panel here with that angle panel with I'm going to have to do this again with a key, even, you know, just in case I don't want to use this key right here. I want to just operate it as a regular go-kart and not like a scooter. So I'm going to put the key and the on-off switch. On-off. This is key. So this would be the main power here. So main power. On-off switch, and then I'm going to have I want to engage the brakes, but I also want to have the ability to engage a brake with a foot pedal. That can be done in parallel with this button here, or the switch. I do want to have a reverse, and I do want to have lights here. So reverse, brakes, and lights, and there you have it. That'll be my kind of a dirty and quick and dirty sketch here, but that's what's in my mind right now as far as doing this while I'm working on this thing right here. Anyway, this is where I'm at. You know, this is how I like enjoying my my retirement days. Mario once again with MIA Microflight. Stay tuned for the continuation of this. This is coming along really nice. We should be riding this pretty soon. Thanks for watching.